Okay, I think we are live streaming, and
Nice.
we are 3 seconds in. I'll just wait for the video to start up.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Okay, well, hopefully someone can jump in. Maybe Johnny, can you jump into our YouTube and check that also you can hear me, maybe even hear all of us?
Can do. Hang on, I'm just gonna deafen you all.
Sure.
Looks like your video is a bit choppy, couple.
Yeah, okay.
Can you like move your screens around a bit and see if that's choppy as well?
Okay. They are moving them. Hear you clear, just Patrick. I think it might just be that my video... Yeah. Maybe I'll turn my video off, my camera off down the bottom.
Yeah, video's a bit choppy.
Okay, one sec. I think it might be...
The moving the screens was choppy, but again, it could be because of the camera.
I think it's this cam here. So let's just turn these ones off. Watch. Video frame. Okay. Now, hopefully, Roz, you might be able to let me know if that looks like you're already in, right? So,
yeah, let me see.
there are
The camera's now.
Yeah, I hit the camera.
Are you doing anything? I can just see like a static screen.
Yeah, I'm moving it. It might be lagged a bit.
Oh, yeah, it is a bit laggy. Yeah, I mean, it just looks like there's a low frame per second rate going on.
Hey, Inian, or Patrick, can you still hear us clear? Because I think it won't matter if the thing's a bit choppy, because it's just typing. Otherwise,
I think it's probably fine.
Yeah, well, we'll view it afterwards, and if anyone wants to hear clear audio, then they can come to our Discord. Okay, for anyone dialing in, I should type this as well. For anyone dialing in, we're gonna stream some pre-launch week announcements and blog posts. Come hang out in Discord if you want to hear better. Okay, cool. So we've got the main blog post. Much like last time, for those who are dialing in, the only thing is, how are you guys gonna see what I'm sharing?
Just gonna have to watch on the stream with a little bit of
I'm
delay.
watching YouTube, like.
Okay, you guys can watch the YouTube, and okay, so we got.
I'm gonna make a tweet that we're on YouTube.
Sweet. Okay, tweet was, we gotta add embedded live stream, update the header, and link to new blog posts. So somewhere here, I've got our blog, and I'll make that bigger so people can see. And we are going to put inside our website blog. What do we call the last one? Supabase Community Day Launch Week sequel. This one's going to be called 21. What month is it? 11/26. Supabase launch week, the Trilogy. Okay, Supabase launch week 3. The Trilogy, is that the name that we've settled on?
Either that or holiday special, because the
Ah,
imagery we've got so far is holiday centric.
okay, so let's see what to expect. Community Day, Home Alone, because I remember when I watched that, he looked so old, and now he looks so young. Okay, yeah, it's very, very holiday centric. Okay, so let's call it Launch Week 3 Holiday Special. Special. Okay,
What was the third Die Hard film called? Was it like With a Vengeance?
yeah.
Event.
What's the description
Was
of this one? 5 days of Supabase? Yet again.
What about tis the season to be shipping?
Tis the season to be shipping. Yeah, I think that's great, Ross. You nailed it.
I'm
Okay.
done for the quarter.
What's that?
I'm done for the quarter.
Yeah.
Where? Okay, so we can delete all of this, and we'll do. We need a. Well, let me just push this for a start. Set up init launch post. So we're gonna do 2 in this PR, and actually, what we also have to do, we need to remember, Johnny, to put the header pointing towards this blog post. 11:26. Now we can copy. We've actually got to wrap this up, so let's go through it. In March, Supabase held a launch week where we launched a new product feature every day for a week. In July, we did launch week 2, the sequel, with another week of feature releases. Yeah, now we need to decide, is this too cheesy? I'm not sure if we've hired developers or sailors because they just won't stop shipping. And next week, we're back with our 3rd launch week in 9 months, launch week 3, holiday, what was that? Holiday special. Special. Okay, is this okay? Can we accept this level of cheese?
Is there something of like elves we can put in there?
Elves. Santa's little hackers.
Santa's little hackers have been busy at work
Or
because we have another 5 days of features ready to go.
He's got
Okay.
a checking it twice.
so Roz, you've already done your one for the Santa's little hackers have been hard at work. What did you say again? Because we've got another 5 days of launches. Is it? Is that what you said?
Yeah, ready to go. Yeah.
Ready to go. Yep. And then I don't need to say the rest, right? Okay, cool. What to expect. We don't want to spoil the surprise, so for now we'll give you a teaser of what to expect. Come back each day to see what we launch, or follow us on Twitter to keep up to date. And follow the hashtag #SuperLaunchWeek. Then Community Day. Great image actually for that. Last week we introduced the idea of Community Day. A day where we shine a spotlight on some of the open source tools that we use and community contributions. If you like that one, you're going to love this one. Okay, could be better. Any suggestions?
Oh, should we be inviting people to the Discord thing, by the way? We've got the...
Well, Silent Works is in the audience. Hey, Silent Works. And those on... okay, actually, we've got some comments on YouTube. I should be putting this on as well. Here you go. On YouTube, this is Silent Works. I'm watching YouTube and listening on Discord. Best of both worlds. Hold up. I'm pretty sure that I joined Supabase Discord server, but I don't see any voice chat or something like that. Oh, maybe you haven't made it public, because maybe it's only for... Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah, maybe the event itself is permissions.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ah,
it's
yeah.
only mods and admins are here.
Okay,
Yeah.
so sorry for all those on YouTube. We're going to put this live on Discord.
So,
Feel free to ask questions, by the way. Peter, what's up? Nice to see you. Peter,
how
by
do
the
I
way.
just
Yep.
add everyone. I can add roles, add members or roles, but like I just want to add everyone.
The other thing, actually, Inian and or Rolls, can you hear other people speak on YouTube, or is it only me that comes through?
I'm not actually listening on YouTube. I'll put it on now. Hang on.
Okay, if anyone can on YouTube confirm whether you can hear the other guys speak, or if it's just me, that would be quite helpful too.
I
Okay.
can hear, so I guess everyone.
Okay, well, let's carry on while we sort out those.
I can hear other people, and there's a little bit of a lag. It's like, I don't know, 10 seconds behind.
Okay, sweet. Yep. Nice. Okay. Next day, Tuesday, some dashboard updates. And I don't know if there were some good reasons for this one. But
Not especially. But then I thought, based on the image, maybe we change the title to Dashboard Surprise. But I don't know. I feel like it's quite a large surprise.
I'm sure anyone poking around our main repo won't be too surprised what is going to come. So, alright, Dashboard Surprise. There's a good Will Ferrell type thing in here. Or what is this one called? The Elf? Something like that? Elf.
Elf, yeah.
Just called Elf. Okay. The front end team have been flat out shipping. No, I don't know. Like, what do we want to say here? We kind of want to hint towards the fact that it's something that's been pending since the start.
Front end team have been gift wrapping something special.
Roz, who said that you were only good for one per quarter? Gift wrapping, something
I think he's just in a really Christmassy mood.
special, and checking it twice. Checking it twice before committing. Something big and public is on its way. Okay. Committing. Okay, we can come back to that maybe, and we'll commit a PR, and then everyone who is on our streams can, I think, make their suggestion. Maybe you want to explain to... Yep.
Yeah, I just want to say welcome to people who have joined the Discord event. If you want to see what's actually going on Coppel's screen, I'll post in the general channel now with a link to the YouTube. There we go.
Okay. Wednesday, real-time updates. Hold on, let's just check some of these comments, make sure that we're good. Hold up. Where was the last one from Peter? Yes, many voices are there, loud and clear. Thanks for sharing. Dashboard surprise on my birthday. Well, just for you. Web3 Auth from Carlo. Web3 Auth is being worked on by Harry, of course, smashing through Auth. Yep, cool. All right. Now let's do Wednesday. What was the goal of this one? Any way of tying it to real-time updates? This is the Grinch, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's like
Yeah.
blocking. I mean, the Grinch. It's like real-time security. Nothing blocks a good gift, or if it wasn't for the Grinch, everyone would be getting payloads. I don't know. There's something there.
It's so hard to not just give it all away.
It really is. Real-time updates. Yeah, I'm gonna say. What about?
Keeping the Grinch away from your data or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. We're gonna like keep.
Steal Christmas. Don't let the Grinch steal your data this Christmas.
Don't let the Grinch. It's cheesy, but we just need to get something out. Creativity needs to flow. The Grinch, steal your data this Christmas. We have a huge security update coming for real time. Something like that. We'll come back for that. Okay, Thursday, you got multiple memes. Very nice.
Yeah, so I think actually I like the first or second one. Like the second one's good because it's a wrapped one.
And what is the
Expression's a
day?
bit
New
confusing
players into the game. Yeah, this one's a big one. We can't really say much on this one, so yeah. This one's a big
Or
surprise.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like find out who's in the box.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Okay, so
Sorry, Rose. These others were also good.
what's
suggestions,
in
but,
the box?
I'm just making fun of this.
This one's a secret, so you'll just need to dial in on Thursday. Thursday, cool. And then okay. Castaway? Is it? Yeah.
Is that Christmassy?
Not really. But he's FedEx. There's some delivery pun in there for
It
sure.
does happen on Christmas. So, like, he's in a Christmas dinner, he gets the call from
Yeah.
FedEx to go somewhere, and he goes on the plane, and then the plane crashes. But I guess he opens the package not on Christmas.
Yeah, that's true.
But
What?
it's
Okay, so what else we got?
it's a loose connection, like,
That's quite
I
good.
mean, Danny DeVito plugging in Christmas lights. I mean,
yeah, it's a good
can
one.
you?
Oh, yeah,
I think you can get any more Christmassy than that.
Yeah.
that's true. It's a very low quality image as well, which is perfect for this blog post. Okay, so this one more thing. Let's be honest. It's never just one more thing. Come. How do we wrap that up? It could be just like that.
All killer, no stocking filler.
What? What was that?
All killer, no stocking filler.
Stocking filler.
A stocking filler. Ah, okay.
Yeah, in English.
Keep your Liverpool out of this conversation. Okay, launch week. Yeah, okay. So we've got all of them. Launch week just isn't about shipping features. It's a great way to get the community involved too. Every day when we ship, launch a new feature, we'll be doing it live on Discord, Twitter, or YouTube. Watch us ship this blog post live, and then we'll embed the YouTube. Okay, so great. What I can do now is I'm going to copy all of this to our blog post from here down, and then maybe, so where are we at? Here, down, and the images won't come through, but perhaps one of you can help me PR the images, adds some text. Then, in the meantime, we have one more special post, which we're going to call, what's it called? How we launch at Supabase. Okay. And this one's going out tonight, 26th, Supabase, how we launch. How we launch. And it is written by Supabase. Wait, how we launch at Supabase. And then this description. Do you have anything?
Something like the history and methodology behind Supabase Launch Week, something like that.
Yep, love it. Okay, what is your? I think it's like, what is your thing? Is it ant underscore Wilson? And underscore.
Is there any others in there? What are the other ones?
Yeah, I think you've done a few back.
Let me just find out.
Tech 26. Okay. What did you say? The history and
methodology of Supabase Launch Week, something like that.
Of Supabase Launch Week.
Oh, that one, Supabase Beta July 2021. It's got my name on it, I think.
And underscore Wilson. Yeah. No,
is it?
Supabase July 2021.
And the Supabase Hackathon also.
Supabase Hackathon. Yeah. Yeah, nice. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is the same here. I'm going to just copy and paste this content in, and then maybe while it's quite long, so I'll just paste it in and push it as a PR. Then while someone maybe in the background wants to help to add the launch week history, while someone's PRing that, cleaning up the PR, perhaps we can step through it, and you can step us through what's in the blog post and why you wrote it. So
yeah, let me just get it up. Where is it? Content calendar.
How we launch at Supabase.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So I mean, basically, like, you know, this is our third launch week this year, right? And we do them roughly every 3 months, and we've just found it to be a really like effective method of shipping. And it turns out like it's not just for marketing purposes, but it's also had like a lot of other benefits, like for like motivating the team. Like everyone sort of finds these weeks extremely enjoyable, a little bit stressful, and you know, by the end everyone's always full of adrenaline and kind of can't wait to get started on the next one. So I thought it was kind of just worth. A lot of people ask us about what exactly are the processes we use to run these launch weeks. So I thought it would be good to just, you know, put that all down on paper for anyone to read, kind of effectively open sourcing our you know, product cycle methodology and launch mechanisms and things like that. So it's quite a long one, starts with the history really of Supabase.
So maybe we can go through it because I think it's quite chronological, right? So maybe the start. Well, maybe you want to describe this because I think Johnny said that this background image is kind of one thing, or shall we get back to that? We'll get to that at some point. So the first thing that you've written here is that we're been growing our databases 47% month on month for the past 18 months, which I put a comment on. I didn't realize it was that high, but
well, it's because we used to report it weekly, I think, and I think weekly it's around 8%. And then when I just crunched the numbers for monthly, because weekly it was kind of like 72 weeks. That doesn't really mean anything. 18 months is kind of it's easier to sort of know roughly how many years that is. So and then crunch the numbers for that, and it came out around just under 50% a month.
And 18 months seems fine because that's basically since the start when we launched our hosted platform.
Exactly, yeah. It's from just before the alpha launch itself.
Nice.
So when we sort of first had our public announcement, our accidental public announcement.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So then we're getting into some. This is a real graph, I assume, or like how. Well, it definitely looks familiar. So yeah, what's happening on this graph?
Yeah, so this is like just a timeline of all of the databases that we've ever launched, and you can see right down the bottom, it basically starts when we entered Y Combinator, and we went from it doesn't look that much at the very very left hand side. The tip is about 800 databases, which was when we did our alpha launch. The post stayed on Hacker News for almost 3 days, and then after that we did our auth launch, which was like our sort of second major launch, and the thing we're trying to communicate with this graph is that actually each time we do one of these launch events, there is a change in the rate at which people start to sign up. So with the beta announcement, the second one, for example, all of the improvements that we announced during the beta launch were already in the product. So it just kind of, and it's kind of obvious to say it when you say it out loud, but like you really do need to market, all of the hard work that you're putting in, all of the things that you've achieved. All we really talked about in that beta announcement was the fact that we were moving from alpha to beta because we'd improved stability. We had increased performance by X percentage compared to Firebase. We had done all these security initiatives. So they're all like incremental changes, but without that marketing blast at the end, no one really learns about it. So it's just kind of stressing the importance of, and everyone knows this deep down of putting your marketing hat on every once in a while, because we're still effectively a team full of engineers who love to write code and ship product. So it's just to have that discipline every few months to get everyone in marketing mode and write content and think about how you're going to position your product and all of those things, which is of course what we're doing now as well.
Yep. Nice. And then from here, so you give this brief history. I think you've got, basically on this timeline, we've got auth here, but one thing, you mentioned it here, you're basically describing when we started January 2020 at the start, right when COVID struck. I think we started, and that's when we actually went to YC, which of course was a huge boon to Supabase itself. And our launch on Hacker News took us from something like 80 devs to 800 in one night or something like that. Then we went through the batch, right? So That was good. But I
Yeah.
think, those ones maybe we've discussed before. Let's try see. Yep. I think here you talk about Michael Seibel. We had kickoff events. So you want to talk about the timeline? Well, where do you want me to settle? Something we said to
Yeah, I think we joined the batch. Well, post YC is a good one, right? Because the there's a lot of external pressure, and not just YC, any accelerator program. Like one of the advantages which people don't really talk about is you're put in a room with investors, with mentors, with other companies, and the other companies is a really important one. And you can see their growth, you can see the trajectory, you can see the amount of effort that the other companies are putting in, and it has this effect on you and your team, right? You need to keep up, you need to ship faster, you need to think harder about what you're working on and how you're gonna make money. And when you leave the accelerator at the end of typically the 3 months, all of that just goes away overnight, and it's easy to just feel a little bit lost. Like, okay, we've gone through this process. Like, what now? And that's the point where we kind of said, well, why don't we just, take everything we learned over the last 3 months, all those processes, and just try and run that playbook again, just internally. Like, let's make our own internal accelerator. We'll, assign people to different projects and pretend they are, their own startups. And we'll set a demo day, our own demo day, which of course is launch day or launch week. We chose an arbitrary date, which was 3 months out, and then we said, right, let's just work as hard as possible, and then we'll ship something big at that 3 month point. But it all came from just almost like a fear of not having that external pressure anymore, and we had to sort of provide that ourselves.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think the cool thing about it is, it's not like we're turning around to the team and we're saying, oh, now there's this deadline and, you all have to work really hard. It's kind of like, everyone kind of felt the same. Everyone's on the same page. Everyone saw the sort of the benefit of having this arbitrary demo day deadline, and how fun it is to sort of feel that pressure in the build-up. Like, what are we going to ship? How are we going to present our product? And I think the message is kind of like, if you don't put those constraints on yourself, then it's easy to just feel a bit lost.
Definitely. So then, I think, by the way, my YouTube is not going well. So hopefully people get this. Hopefully the Discord people at least can receive it. But let's get into the actual nuts and bolts of how we do a launch week or like the full cycle. So seems like here you've started from a planning meeting. We've got a nice image here. Yeah, let's go from the start. We're 3 or 4 months out from doing a launch week. What does it look like?
So the first thing, which we kind of, I remember me and you cops, I think probably the first day we started working on Supabase almost, and we just pulled up a whiteboard and we said, let's just write down everything we know about what Supabase is. And we just started building this mind map of all of these concepts. There's like, the product, like the different directions it might take. When we first started, we said we were going to build almost like a Postgres marketplace, right, of different plugins and extensions and templates, and that was the idea. So we wrote down a few of these ideas, but then everything else, it's like, what are we aiming for? How big a company do we want to build? Are we going to bootstrap? Are we going to go for to raising money from investors? Are we gonna, run this as a company in Singapore, or are we gonna try and be remote? And we kind of just dumped everything we could think of, like all the terms, all the concepts on one board. And I think like why that's useful is it sort of gets all the knowns down on paper, so that when you start the discussion, then you're into exploring new territory, rather than revisiting all of these things that are kind of on your mind, you might have discussed already. You kind of flush all of that out, and then you can start with the what ifs, and the kind of you can say, okay, let's think really ambitiously now, like what are the like and as this sort of framework progressed, we knew to start asking the question of our team and ourselves is, what is the most ambitious thing we can hope to achieve in 3 months' time, and start brainstorming that and start like exploring those ideas. So that's kind of the purpose of the mind map, or the brainstorm that we do, which used to be on a whiteboard, is now on a Google Jamboard, because we have people spread all over the world.
Yeah, and
but, still the same.
what secrets are we giving away? What should we call out on this Jamboard? I mean, there's what special things have we got? I mean, Reddit, Hacker News, Bookface. The thing probably to note is that there's nothing special on here, right? I mean, it's all things that anyone can think of. It's just that we don't really dismiss anything. It seems like we've really written exit interviews. I don't even know why we wrote that, to be honest, but at the time it probably seemed like one of the most important thing. Maybe someone left the company, happens to every company. MongoDB, I don't even know why we wrote MongoDB, but are there what are some things, I don't know, that you might want to call out? DAA, DAU, these ones were important at the start.
Yeah, definitely. It's champions there. Zapier, I have no idea why that is even there, but it was obviously kind of important.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, it's all obvious stuff, but it's still important to visit it as a team.
Yeah.
And say, we've got a small list there as well: Reddit, Hacker News, Bookface, Product Hunt. Of it's obviously the channels that we wanted to market on primarily.
Mm-hmm.
But it's easy to, in the moment of shipping, like forget some of these things.
True. Okay, cool. So we do this Jamboard and we get everyone in. We set some high-level goals and metrics. Then comes the main course. You say, what are we going to build and what was going to move the needle, essentially. Now, of course, this isn't our first one, so you've got here a bit of a retro. Well, for those who are probably new, maybe they haven't worked in a team, what is a retro? Why is it important? What do we do? How do we do it? Yeah, maybe you can talk us through this part.
Yeah, so I described in this blog the retrospective as being the most important part of this entire process, because this launch process that we go through was grown over time. It started with a few intuitive things that we knew we wanted to do, but it took us, like, this is now our fourth or fifth major launch, this long to really codify some of the practices. And that only happened because we explicitly sat down after each launch and did what's called a retrospective, where you basically do a review of what went well, what went badly, and what are the things we absolutely need to learn from when we do this again. And if we hadn't have done that, then we'd be running the same, making the same mistakes every launch week, basically.
Yeah.
So some of the things, what have we got in here?
Good is on time, flexible scope, which is a critical part. We have a fixed timeline, flexible scope, release plan, flow, content, J&J, our design team, our front end team, bad is QA was bad, and now this was our first one. I remember uh, last minute. Yeah, so actually this is a good one. So what we could do better usually comes from the bad we take was bad, and what we could do better. Well, what is the probably the biggest change that we've made this time around this last minute shipping and cramming?
Yeah, definitely. Because last launch week, I don't know if anyone actually was here for it, but on the Monday evening when we went to ship the first feature, something we did basically just broke the entire app for everyone, so no one could log in. And it was just purely a result of trying to do it live, to try and ship on the day. And it's just so obviously, in hindsight, not a great idea. So I think we had a couple of major outages that week, which was, again, kind of fun to have everyone online on Discord, like in public, debugging those issues. But obviously incredibly stressful because our launch weeks aren't typically particularly like good for getting a lot of sleep. And then when you have these kind of major outages, then it's even worse. So that's the major thing we've done different this time. But you can see from this list of like a lot of the other things we've improved upon, such as if you plan to go to the press at all, if you're trying to get something into TechCrunch or one of these other publications, like that's not something you can do 2 days before you launch. Right.
Definitely, yeah. They're not in the habit of shipping themselves, so okay, cool. So we do the retro each time, and we try to improve, which is always good. Then yeah, here you call it out. The idea of the scope is flexible, and the ideation, it's impossible to tell if an engineering project is going to take 2 or 102 days. So I think this is one thing that actually most engineering companies, or actually most non-engineering companies, get wrong. Perhaps it's only because we're a bunch of developers that we kind of work on this concept of fixed timeline variable scope. Maybe you want to talk through what does that actually mean?
Yeah. So I mentioned before that we pick a date that's 3 months out. We say it's whatever, November 29th. We're gonna go live with something big. And anyone who's worked on engineering projects before knows that like things that you know can seem like a 1 or 2 line fix might take you know 8 days to solve once you get into the weeds of a problem. And there's really no way of predicting how complex some of these things are going to be. And likewise, things that you say, oh, this is probably going to take me 5 days, might take 30 minutes if you get in a good flow and nothing goes wrong and you can find all the tooling you need. And so we're kind of open and honest about that. A lot of the projects we wanna ship at Supabase are kind of like large, ambitious. We don't know if one of the things we do is we prefer to use existing open source tools wherever possible. And before you've done that research, you don't even know if those tools exist, if they're relevant, if they're still well maintained. So like I said, a project like this could take 2 weeks or it could take 20 months. And so the most important thing for us is being very flexible with the scope. And we say, if it's all good, if this thing can't be done in 3 months, then we'll just aim for the next launch week, or even the one after. It's kind of like if problems that are worth solving, it effectively doesn't matter whether it's going to take 3 months or 12 months or whatever. If it's worth solving, it's worth solving, and it's worth us continuing to put resource into it.
Nice. Yeah, and I think quite often we plan here, like, or plan at the start some things that we think will get in, maybe 10 different things, and 8 of those things don't make it, 2 do, and 3 extra things get in. So it's really like a game of Jenga for us. Yeah. Okay, so we've got the kickoff meeting. This is a nice visual for those who don't know. What is this? What are these images?
Oh, is this the stickers?
Stickers, yeah.
Was inspired by going through an accelerator. It's, typically when you go through an accelerator, on day one, you receive some swag, which is, a t-shirt or a hoodie or some stickers. And so we just brought that into our process, into our internal accelerator. And for the project, we said we're going to make, some project specific swag. And if you build something that gets shipped in the launch week, then you get some of this swag, right? Whether it's we've done caps before, we've done stickers, and it's kind of a meme, right? In itself, it's a bit of fun